I received the package in the mail yesterday, so we're going to do an unboxing video. But as always, we're going to start with what's in my pocket today. I have my Benchmade bug out, Benchmade 535. This knife's been in my pocket for a while now. Really enjoying it. Put a 400 grit, 15 degree on each side, 30 degree inclusive edge on here. It's been serving me well. I also have in my pocket the Strider SMF hybrid. So on one side it's gunner grip, and on the other side it's just regular flame titanium. This knife I've had for a while. It served me well. It's in PSF 27 steel. Haven't really used it long enough to really give you an opinion on the steel. But those are the knives that are in my pocket. Now let's find out what new items I've picked up. Let's roll the intro. All right, in this video, we're gonna look at my new W.R. Case & Sons tribal lock. As you all know, I'm trying to look at several different brands and not just GEC knives. As I always say, I'm very upfront in the videos. GEC is my preferred brand. I believe that I don't know of a company right now that is releasing a knife that is done as well as GEC. Or let me back up. Let me back up. I don't know of a company that is releasing a knife that is better than what GEC is putting out and or more consistent than what GEC is putting out. Yes, GEC is at a little bit of a different price point, but I think that's why in general, when you get a GEC knife, it has a little bit higher fit and finish. However, I got a comment just the other day asking me if I'm going to review any case knives. And I had already been trying to work in other brands because I do want to give each knife a fair shot. Even though my preference is for the GEC knives, I want to make sure that I can put my hands on a variety of knives, not only to have that firsthand experience and those firsthand comparisons so I can show the differences and the similarities, but also so I can just expand my knowledge of the different knives and appeal to all the different tastes that are out there, because I know everyone might not have $80, $90 to spend on a GEC knife, but they might have $50 or $60 to spend on a case knife. Some people just prefer case knives because it's the knife that their grandfather carried or uncle carried or father carried. So that's enough talking about the brands. I am going to add more knives from different brands as I go along. I did the Shatton Morgan maybe a month or two back. You can look back and see that review and follow up, or the initial impression and then follow up. This here is going to be my unboxing and initial impression of this case tribal lock. So it does say that this is a July 12th, 2017 production. I don't know if that's first batch or second batch, but from the reading I did before I bought this knife, I know that the first run, and then I'm just reading what is out there on the internet. The first run apparently had a fairly gritty action. So my understanding is the second run, they improved the action of the knives. So we have the paperwork, product quality information. It was stuck together. I'll look at that later. There's nothing else in the box. The knife comes wrapped in tissue paper. And you can see here, this is that smooth yellowish orange color bone I was talking about. The first thing that jumps out to me, and it jumped out to me in the pictures on the internet, is look at those pins. Look at how flush those pins are with the covers. And I know that's one thing that a lot of people, I won't say not GEC for, but comment on or take note of, is the fact that they have some recessed pins. So right off the bat, you can see the pins are pretty much perfectly flush with the bone cover handles. The transitions feel pretty good. You can catch catch a little bit maybe on the edges here on the inside, but for some reason I noticed that with GEC knives as well. Whichever end is closest to the opening of the blade well, those edges seem to feel a little bit rougher. Done well. The bolster lines seem to be fairly even. And I know that's something with GEC. And what I mean is the width of this line, this rat tail or threaded or whatever you want to call it, bolster, it'll start small and get larger and go back down smaller, or it'll be wider on this side and narrower on this side. It just doesn't look like a clean impression. This looks to be pretty clean. It looks to be equally deep. It looks to be equally wide in this dimension. Same thing on this end. Maybe the ends flare a little bit, but it appears to be in good shape. The bolsters don't seem to have a lot of hairline scratches. They seem to be fairly well polished on both ends of the knife. The knife, you can see the centering there. Let's flip it the other way so we can just take a look at it from the other way. So you can see that the centering is not good on the knife at all. It doesn't rub, but that's not even close to being centered. The action is smooth. The lockup seemed a little bit light. There doesn't appear to be any side-to-side play, no up and down play. It does release. It does release pretty smoothly. Feels good in hand. It's a little bit hefty, but it feels good in hand. The edge of the knife, it doesn't appear, well, you can see there, well, let's do it this way. You can see here, I'm pressing down pretty hard, and I don't have too much concern that I'm going to cut myself. It's not really sharp, what I would call sharp. So that's my initial impressions. Oh, the color of the covers. I do think the color of the covers is excellent. I do like the bone. I do like the shield. I don't know about the case engraving. I would like to see it just plain, but I do like that. I didn't look at the back spring. Let's look at the back spring. The back spring does appear to be very well done. Maybe some slight gapping towards the middle here, but all in all, I think for the price, you know, it's a pretty good knife. I'd like it a little bit sharper. I'd like the centering. Well, actually, it looks like now the centering changed. So I don't know. I think that is good to me. I would be happy with that centering, but we'll have to see how the centering adjusts over time. Still could be a little bit sharper. The centering now appears to have fixed itself. Maybe it got bumped in shipment. I'm not sure on that. Like I said, all in all, I think this is a good example of the differences between buying a, like I said, $80 or $90 knife and buying a $60 knife. So that's my initial impression of the knife. I'm going to carry it some more, and I will give you guys some more feedback. Please feel free to comment in the comment section below. I look forward to catching you in the next video. Thank you. Well, I said that was the end, but when I pulled the knife off camera, I noticed a few other things that I wanted to comment on. And I know this is something that's commonly discussed. GEC, they keep a piece of metal on the end to protect that tip all the way through the process until they're closer to the end, so that way they end up with a very pointy knife. If you look here, that point is pretty blunted. Also, if you look down here, the bevel is very, very wide. Well, pretty wide. On this side, it's pretty narrow. The other thing, and I think you can see it there, this edge almost looks like it's serrated. I mean, it's not, I don't know how they sharpened it, but it's definitely going to need to see a stone or the wicked edge sometime soon. And that's my guess as to why it doesn't feel sharp. You can see here, it just, I hope you can see on camera, it looks like a serrated edge knife. So that's my last comments before the follow-up video. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Thank you.